Hello viewers and welcome. Daily Race B racing GT3 cars around Suzuka circuit, which isn't my best circuit from previous experiences, which haven't been good. I've had a lot of bad memories of this circuit, let's say. Anyway, starting in P4, I'm in the GTR car because I've been standing this car for eternity and I will forever stand it. It's the car of greatness, okay? I'm clearly biased towards the Gran Turismo movie, so that's why I'm keeping the livery. Anyway, as the cars approach the line, the clock starts ticking, it slides out and away we go, tucking immediately behind the Porsche. His acceleration is no better than my GTR, although my top speed is way better than his, as the GTR is a literal rocket ship on the straights. But the Porsche is faster in the medium to low speed corners, which will be quite interesting to see. So, Suzuka is a race where it's you spin or you lose, which is quite interesting to see as it's very difficult to keep the car straight with everyone attacking you left, right and center, especially in lower rank lobbies, and I need to work on my consistency, because I'll be honest, it is not the best. Despite me having moments of brilliance, I also have moments of downfall, which literally make or differentiate the low and high ranked drivers. So, you've just seen me make a tiny mistake there, where there will be many more of, because this race, unless you're some literal machine who lives and breathes Gran Turismo, you will make tiny little mistakes left, right and center. So these mistakes add up to a lower lap time, which seems to be my case because I'm quite quick, but I seem to be making mistakes quite literally everywhere. As you can see, I've skipped a little forward and I've made a tiny crucial mistake which have lost me pretty much any hope of getting P2 or 1 because they are quite close together. This tiny mistake alone has lost me maybe a second or two, and now I skip forwards to another mistake where I just do a little correction and then an overcorrection, which leads me into the gravel trap. And this is why I say this race is a spin or lose, because you'll make a mistake or you win. And that seems to be the case for almost everyone, and I made a mistake, it's a spin or win. So, forgive me for that. Suzuka is quite not nice to me, which I seem to find okay, because in order to improve you must first learn that you are a failure. So, after this failure and finishing this race in P4, which isn't too disappointing of a result, it's where I started, I decided to, get a little bit more training, get a little bit more track time, and improve myself. Now, on the next race, it is literally the same lap time, but this time I'm in P2, mainly because my sportsmanship level have risen a little bit, so this makes me in the higher split of drivers, which for some reason seem to be slower, which quite literally doesn't make sense to me, but it's okay. As the cars approach the line, the clock starts ticking, it slides out and away we go. Again, tucking immediately behind the Porsche, reading this very big PS5 letter. I have no idea why he has it there, but his livery is quite interesting to say. It's not bad, but it's also not good. It's something I've never seen, so I'll say it's interesting. You can clearly see the Porsche has a bit more confidence going into the corner more than me, which I seem to be lacking confidence, which is why I feel like I am not as good as I could be, because I genuinely believe I could be in the top split of drivers. So I'm saying top 20, top 30, top 40, because I genuinely believe in that. And actually, if you don't believe you're the best, then you will never make it to be the best. So this is why I say I'm the greatest driver in the world, because clearly if I'm not gonna say that, I will never have the chance to be the greatest driver in the world. So don't be humble, you need to have an ego to be good, because if you have an ego you need to prove it to people. So if you don't have an ego, you're just not motivated to prove it. So that is why I'm literally ego driven, because that's how 90% of people I see are. And you can see the Porsche car making a tiny mistake which leads him to half spin, correct himself and lead me to bump him. And this is why I say it's a spin or win, because the Porsche driver kind of cooked it and he makes a tiny mistake which leads into another mistake which leads into a spin. That is why it's a coin flip, you spin or you win. And now I'm clearly in the lead and I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to take full advantage of the Porsche and I'm going to take off to the sunset, giving now that I'm in P1 with no cars behind me, no competent cars behind me, and no competent cars in front of me, because I'm in P1. And now you can see the Porsche behind me is kind of building up the pressure. He's on my slipstream and he will have the advantage on the straights due to the slipstream. So we will see he's going through the corner. I'm clearly faster than him on the corners because he's taking advantage of my slipstream. He's literally in the suck of my car. So you can clearly see him mounting the pressure, but I genuinely believe that he is not gonna overtake me because I didn't even see him on my radar, because I genuinely couldn't care who's behind me. All I cared about is getting the car home, which many mistakes beginner driver make is looking too much on the time. If you look too much on the time, you will not be as fast, because you need to keep your eyes on track in order to drive. So if your eyes are not on track, you're gonna make tiny mistakes which lead to more mistakes, which lead to a drop of confidence, which leads to you spinning and leaving the race. So that is why I say stop looking at the time, just drive. So just enjoy the drive. If you're not fast, okay, don't worry too much about it. Just look on the road, keep your eyes on the road, drive faster. Literally, that's it. And this is what most people tend to not do because they are too much overthinking about the timing. You know, they're after every single straight, and I've been guilty of this mistake many times. After every single corner, I would look at the time board. Is it closing? Is it not? Is it closing? Is the gap closing? And this is why you are literally putting unnecessary pressure, unnecessary stress on you, which also you're taking your eyes off the road, which will make you or lead you to other mistakes. So now you can see the Peugeot is clearly not fast and is clearly not gonna be any threat to me in this car because I'm just genuinely faster. I'm genuinely the best driver on this track and this specific time. So I'm chilling in P1 with pretty much no worries other than getting the car home, which I'm working on that. As you can see, time doesn't go any faster, so I'm gonna have to take my time, you know, not make any mistakes, make sure I drive nicely in order not to make other mistakes which could lead me to spin and lose the race, because again, it's a spin or win. And you can see as many examples through this race. We had 3 examples so far, I think so. 2 mistakes and 1 spin. So after finishing lap 3, I'm gonna skip lap after lap. As you can see, boom, 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 pretty much expanding the gap pretty much a lot. So finishing the race in P1 with a 10-second lead, almost, or which will be 10-second lead in case the driver makes a mistake behind, which is very easy to make. I finished the race in P1, I claim my win, I go to sleep.